Hi everybody, hope this video finds you well during these crazy times. But we're going to move on. So today I want to talk a little bit about square roots. Now, and before, I'm going to have you pause here. Before you even go any further with this video, you have to know your times tables, okay? If you do not know your times tables, please stop this video and do work on your times tables. That can be with flashcards. You could look online for resources. Times tables, you have to know your multiplication tables to really grasp this concept. Okay, so please do that. If you feel comfortable with your times tables, we'll move on to what we're going to talk about today, which is square roots. Okay, so square roots is the root of a number essentially. Okay, so for example, if I have, let's say I have a small number like 4, okay? And I want to find the square root of that number, okay? Well, first off, the symbol for square root looks like this. It's a little tail, it's like the division sign with a little tail, okay? So that little sign will go over the 4. That's what will tell me that I need to find the square root of 4. Now you got to ask yourself, what number times itself gives me 4? Okay? If you know your times tables, you know that answer is 2. So the square root of 4 is 2. It's an easy one, right? But let's make it a little more harder. Let's say I want to find the square root of 64. Bigger number. So I know my symbol right. So I gotta think to myself, if I know my times tables, what number times itself gives me 64? Okay, so is it 4? Can't be 4 because 4 times 4 is 16. How about 5? Well, 5 times 5 is 25, so it's not 5. How about 7? 7 times 7 is 49, so it's not that. How about 8? 8 times 8 is, ding, 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 64. Okay? So the square root of 64 is 8. But if you notice, something that's very important here is that the two examples that I've done so far have had perfect numbers. There hasn't been any decimals, nothing like that. It's been a perfect number. Okay? All numbers have square roots. And they're not always going to be perfect. Some are going to be a little more complicated and require some help, especially on your GED. Okay? So, let's say I have a number like 111. Okay. So off the top of my head, I do not think there is a number that goes in perfectly times itself to make 111. So what I'm going to do is use your GED calculator. Okay. Now pay attention to this. Okay. I'm going to press the second button, that green button, right? I pressed it. And then, you see in the first column here, I want to touch the green square root sign. I press that, and then I'm going to type in the number 111. After I do that, I press enter. Now, it's just going to give me the square root of 111 again because it's not a perfect square root. So what I do is, you see these two arrows right here that are both pointing out? I press that, and then I get 10.5. It's actually 10.53 and a bunch of other numbers, but I round to the nearest 10 to keep it at 10.5. Okay? This is something that's very important for the next video that I'm going to make. Okay? So know how to make square roots. Okay? All right. Now, one other small thing I want you to know in regard to square roots is, well, in the word square root, square, right, means the second power. Okay. So let's say I'm doing an equation. I want to find x or a letter by itself, right? Let's say I have x to the second power equals 16. Okay. Usually in this situation, I could just divide by a number and get x by itself. But I can't because I have this little 2 here. Now, on the last step of your equation, if you have a little 2 right there, then you use the magic square root symbol. When I do that, the 2 cancels out. That cancels out to just get x by itself. But with any equation, when I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So, I do the square root of 16. Now, you ask yourself, is that a perfect square root, or should I use my calculator? If you're ever not sure about something, use your calculator, but if you can be sure and you can use your head to do these things, do that. Square root of 16, what number times itself gives me 16? That's 4. So x would equal 4, okay? These 2 small steps here are crucial to our next thing, okay? So it's basic so far, but I hope you keep up. You can rewind through this video, pause it, whatever you got to do. Email me, you know who you are, if you want extra resources or extra help, information on this stuff. Okay? All right.